Sometimes we don't always realize how lucky we are until we see with our own eyes how other people suffer. We want to help, but how? The idea for the gift giving came to us right before Christmas. Majority of the staff that come from the Philippines were all getting ready to go home for the holidays, and it felt right to give something back to the community there. The less fortunate ones who may not have a chance to have a nice meal, the homeless, the elderly, the sick. The idea was a small spark which grew, and in a short space of time, we raised an unexpectedly huge amount of money. On behalf of the EY Gibraltar office, members of our staff organized gift-giving activities across several locations in the Philippines.
So we selected this charity, it's called Bahay Aruga. So if you translate it in English, it's called House of Care. So it caters to children with cancer, those poor children who usually lives in the province but can't afford to live in the city center, which is Manila. So whenever they do their chemotherapy in the hospital, they get to have a home in Manila.
I think for me personally, I find the whole experience very touching and inspiring, because when we got there, you'd see the children running around and you won't even think that they are suffering from cancer. They've undergone major surgeries, so it's like they've managed to maintain that very youthful, cheerful and playful aura despite all the sickness that they are going through.
I actually visited 40 families in our town in 7 locations. Those families range from super less fortunate one to a single parent, and one that all her children died. So one thing that really stood out to me is how optimistic they are in terms of their status in life, regardless of the experience that they're having right now, and how grateful they are despite the small gifts that we offered them. So the smiles that we got from those faces when we visited those places were the things that really I will treasure from this experience.
As for me, I visited last December 21 those families who lost their homes through the fire, and I can see that despite the catastrophe that they had experienced, they still remain resilient, and they still remain to be grateful.
What we did might be simple for us, but it was big for them. Yeah. I'm so blessed to be part of it. I felt that I was so lucky enough to be an instrument to bring about these gifts to these people.
I think the first thing is it made us feel really proud, because everybody had made such an effort during the holidays to put these ideas into action, and it was amazing to see the reactions they got from the people they went out to help. So it wasn't just us. I think my kids, the family, everybody watching the videos as they were coming in over Christmas. It was great to see.
Yeah. It was really good to see how so little has such a big impact, and then talking to the guys that actually did it. I think the feelings that they got, and they got a lot of value out of it as well themselves. It was an experience for them, in addition obviously for us.
I think it was amazing just seeing the faces and the happiness in children's faces when receiving such small gifts. They were so grateful, and that really impacted me. Giving is not just making the donation, it's about making the difference.
So when we actually saw the videos and the photos, we saw up to what extent you all went, like far off from your cities, from the place where you live, and I just felt grateful that we are not one amongst those, and we are someone who can help them and give them as much as we can. So, and I hope we continue this every year. It's best that we give how much ever we can to every community possible, and not just restricting to one single community.
I think it adds a little bit to your Christmas, the giving aspect, and really that charity can be on a much smaller level and a much more local level. It doesn't have to always be to big charities.
It was breathtaking, to be honest. Like the people who actually gave time from their actual holidays to do the stuff, and the smiles on the faces of the people that had almost nothing, and yeah, it just gives you a sense where you don't need much to be happy, really.
Well, I think it's absolutely amazing the way that people can express their gratitude, especially when they receive so little.
Well, I think all too often it's easy to give money to charity and forget about it afterwards, and it doesn't really have an impact on you. But seeing the photos and videos from my own colleagues in the office, it really brought it home to me about the experience that they had when they went home over Christmas, and it kind of gave me valuable insight into the different upbringings that I've had and that my colleagues have had.
We've all been really excited to see the effect it had, so what we want to do is continue and maybe fund a couple of projects, but get the whole office to participate and then choose the projects. There's one in particular which was in respect to children who were ill and needed support, so that one I think touched everybody's heart. And the other one was another project that we didn't fund this time, which was some schools which were in need of equipment, etc. So I think if we can find a couple of projects going forward.
Yeah, and fundamentally is have more impact throughout the year, not just at one particular point in the year. I think that's one way where we can definitely have sort of impact more families on an ongoing basis.
I think one of the best things that's come out of it is an increased team spirit. The whole office feels now that it's a closer environment, and people feel they've been working together to achieve, to build a better working world.
Yeah, and ideally if we can get other firms as well involved and get a wider participation, obviously the impact is going to be much bigger as well.